You can run, but you can't hide from these virus-ridden monstrosities. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Resident Evil bosses. For this list, we're updating our 2015 top Resident Evil bosses list to include the Resident Evil games released since then. Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 remakes, these are some new great games to choose from with equally great bosses, so let's get started. Number 10, Yawn, Resident Evil.
What did this to you?
A big snake. And it had to be poisonous.
They say first impressions last a lifetime, so that's probably why this giant snake from the first Resident Evil is so hard to forget. It's a bioweapon created in the Arklay labs and one of the first giant mutations you face in the game, having dealt with zombies and other trivialities until then. So when it emerges from its hole in all its T-virus infected glory, it's a true what the f*** moment. The damn thing is massive, the room is tiny and cramped, so the camera is awful, and you're in such a shock that a giant snake is bearing down on you that the infamous tank controls become even harder to use. Yeah, it's a real check your pants moment. And you have to fight it twice. Number 9, El Gigante, Resident Evil 4. We'd forgive you for not worrying while fighting Resident Evil 4's Los Iluminados villagers, as they're not as scary as zombies. But if you weren't in a full panic when El Gigante smashed his way into the game, well, you may not have a pulse. Talk about a battle between David and Goliath. This monstrous baddie was spawned from human test subjects using the Plaga parasite, and it grew at least 4 times in size, and it got hella ugly too. Our first thought upon seeing this beast was, nope, just no. He's so far advanced from anything we'd encountered up to this point, it didn't seem a fair fight for poor Leon. But never fear, a friendly neighborhood dog served as a crucial distraction. Good boy.
Hey, it's that dog.
Number 8, Albert Wesker, Resident Evil 5.
Now, let's finish this once and for all.
Damn you, Wesker! You screwed over our Heroic Stars team in the first game, secretly vowing allegiance to Umbrella, and we've been waiting for revenge ever since. While we fought him in a cutscene in Code Veronica, we ultimately had to wait until the 5th game for the final showdown. And boy, was it worth it. At this point in the storyline, Wesker is basically like an agent from the Matrix due to bioengineering and is damn near indestructible. The dude catches rockets with his bare hands for frig's sake. So it takes a lava pit and 2 rockets to finish him off. The feeling of finally killing that backstabbing a-hole after waiting nearly 13 years is oh so sweet. Number 7, Tyrant T-002, Resident Evil.
The ultimate life form. Tyrant.
This Terminator-esque bioweapon is Umbrella's second attempt at what they dubbed the Tyrant, but this time it was made more intelligent and with less physical defects than the original. Now, yes, he's still slower than Molasses, but his thumping footsteps and devastating tentacle arm let you know he means business. When he finally goes down after what feels like 100 Magnum rounds, the relief is palpable. But, in true Resident Evil fashion, he shows up again just as you're about to be airlifted away from this nightmarish situation. And this time, he's faster than lightning. What a cruel trick. It'll take one precise shot from a rocket launcher to finish him off, but if you miss, it's game over. Number 6, Del Lago, Resident Evil 4.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
This famous line from Jaws pretty much sums up this boss encounter. Del Lago is big, real big, and you're in an old, decrepit, dingy boat with a handful of spears. Seems fair, right? And if that weren't enough, your boat is anchored to this Plaga-infected experiment gone wrong salamander, and you're basically at the whim of its every move. Will he drag you, chase you, charge you, or eat you? Well, all 4 if you're not lucky. And in the end, no matter how well Leon does against this monster, he'll be left in such a sorry state that he'll barely be able to continue his journey. Now that, our friends, is the sign of an epic boss battle. Number 5. Lisa Trevor, Resident Evil. We're just gonna say it. Lisa Trevor is the best part of Resident Evil 1 Remaster. She's become so popular and important in Resident Evil lore that you'd be forgiven for not knowing that she wasn't in the original game. Her backstory is incredibly tragic, having been abducted by Umbrella and forced to serve as a test subject for the T-Virus, after which she was confined to a prison cell beneath Arklay Mansion. To have this poor soul whiling away in the dark recesses of the mansion adds another layer of horror to the history of the Spencer estate and the experiments done there. She's mighty dangerous, but we can't help but feel sorry for her as she just wants to reunite with her deceased mother. Number 4. William Birkin, Resident Evil 2. Dr. Birkin has somewhat of a tragic backstory as well, as he injected himself with his own research project, the G-Virus, after failing to achieve a promotion within Umbrella. And then, he lost touch with his own humanity and family as a result. But without a doubt, it's his hideous appearance that makes him so memorable. Heck, even his original forms in 1998's Resident Evil 2 gave us nightmares. But his mutated forms in 2019's remake is something else altogether. With 5 different forms to face, each more nightmare-inducing than the last, Birkin's battles can be both terrifying and thrilling. If we had to pick out a standout battle though, his 4th form at the end of Claire's campaign in the remake takes that honor. Number 3. Jack Baker, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. The Baker family didn't ask to become infected with the mold in Resident Evil 7, but their evolution into sick maniacs made them the perfect antagonists to revive the long-stale Resident Evil series in 2017. Jack is by far the craziest and most frightening of the bunch, and the parts when we were playing hide-and-seek with this garden equipment-wielding psychopath are among our favorite in the entire series. He's such a fresh take on a Resident Evil boss, acting more like something out of Outlast or Alien Isolation, that it completely caught us off guard while filling our hearts with terror. The sign of a good boss encounter is wanting more of it, and we certainly couldn't get our fill of Papa Baker. Daddy's home.
Zoe! Get your ass back to the house! I will deal with you later!
Number 2. Mr. X, Resident Evil 2.
Jesus, stay back!
X gon' give it to ya, and by give it to you, we mean a massive heart attack. Having seen this dude in the original RE2, we figured, okay, let's pump some rounds into him and be on our way. Except, he didn't stay down. He came after us, and when we thought safety was located in the next room, the SOB opened the door and followed us. As a prior version of the Nemesis T-Type in Resident Evil 3, Mr. X is just as relentless, and his steady pace had us spooked like Michael Myers or some other classic horror villain was chasing us. When you finally do fight him though at the end of Leon's campaign, get ready for a world of hurt. Want more video game content? Check out our gaming channel Mojo Plays and discover games and ideas you never knew existed. With more lists, breakdowns, and our latest series, Arcade Roulette.
Justin and John are in.
Oh.
Hey, is that Porky Pig? There's a lot of things being ripped off in this game.
Number 1. Nemesis, Resident Evil 3. If you thought Jack Baker or Mr. X stalking you was stressful, well, meet Nemesis. He's basically Umbrella's most advanced Tyrant model, having been perfected from earlier versions with insane speed, strength, and intelligence, and as if that weren't enough, he's decked out with a freaking rocket launcher too. He's one of those bosses in video games that makes you think, nah, this ain't fair. And so, to make it even less fair in 2020's remake, Capcom equipped this lightning-quick behemoth with a flamethrower. Why? Well, because too bad, that's why. Nemesis haunted our dreams in the original Resident Evil 3, making us sweat every time we heard the word stars, and he's set to do it all over again in the remake. Bring it. In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.